do not freeze. Enjoy within 6 months.
Nice.
Pour neat with bitters, tequila, or mixed classic whiskey cocktails. Cheers.
We're back.
You hear that sound? That's the sound
That wasn't even fake.
of being back.
That wasn't
That's
even
the
fake.
sound. That's the sound of selling out right
I
there.
always forget if you inhale, like at the right there,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty strong.
it'll get you.
Hi. Welcome to this podcast. It's not for you. My name is Wes.
My name is Jake,
Hey, I'm Peyton.
and
Hey.
I'm back. I meant to
He's
say.
back.
I'm also back.
Yeah.
Are you back?
Yeah, Jake had a 6-month stint in a Switzerland hospital.
On my way.
He's
for
keeping
sure.
the wristband. It's kind of
Oh,
a new
wrist,
thing
yeah.
that people. No.
I don't know how to.
Yeah, they've got you. Okay.
Oh. We're back.
Let me just read your data here.
YouTube exclusive
Yeah.
content. Don't
you number JU. Oh, okay.
don't read that. We're back. Jake's hurt, and we have sold out, ladies and gentlemen.
Officially.
We've got T-shirts. Buy them.
Purchase at patreon.com/this podcast is not for you donor 1.
Look it up. Look it up. We've got T-shirts.
HTTPS.
We are.
Colon
It is a
backslash
secure
backslash.
site. It is
Right,
a
yeah,
secure site.
We've got T-shirts. I do want to actually shout out my mother-in-law made us these shirts for Christmas. Thank you very much, Victoria. These look
And now they
phenomenal.
are $47 a piece.
Yes, we are profiting
These are the only
off of
3,
my mother-in-law's
and
kindness.
they're $47 a piece.
We'll sign them. Why not? And
Not gonna wash it.
we
I won't
have
do that.
we have a sponsor. Jake, do you want to tell us about our sponsor?
This is real, so
This
I
is
know that
not a joke.
We've done this as a joke for a long time. Monday, zero alcohol whiskey. It is a zero alcohol beverage company. They also have gin. But my buddy Jay, all of our buddies, Jay, got me a bottle of their whiskey for my 30th birthday, which I did celebrate in the break, and tried it, mixed it with some Coke, some ginger ale, blah, blah, blah. There's some recipes that they send with you. Super excited. It was really cool. It was, as a roaster of coffee, you know, I've always loved craft soda, and now
Mixed drinks. And
yes, and mixed drinks and stuff. And Jay knew that, and so
And
got
you don't drink
and I don't
alcohol.
drink alcohol. So he got me this for my birthday. It was very cool. He got me these whiskey glasses, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're back.
And we're back, and reached out, said, "Hey guys, I love what you're doing. We've got a podcast. Blah blah blah." They are going to send us whiskey and gin, so we will be drinking various drinks throughout season 3, sponsored by Monday Zero Alcohol Whiskey.
Sometimes we'll be in these. Sometimes they'll be in our
In our mugs,
in our
obviously.
mugs. Buy our mugs.
By our mugs. http://patreon.com/this podcast
You would
not for you
think
donor
you'd
1.
think it'd be the same place you get the shirts, but it's actually a completely different site.
Yeah, it's a different Patreon.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, shout out to Monday Zero Alcohol Whiskey.
Thank you, Monday.
And it is,
This is delicious, by the way.
by the way, we record on Monday.
That is
Which
something
is
else that was
crazy.
Yeah, it's
So-
It is fate.
cohesive.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris, at Monday. We're back, by the
Do we
way.
have more bits? Was there any more bits?
How have you guys been? I haven't seen you
yeah,
in so long.
Pretty good.
Good,
I cut
good,
all my
good.
hair off.
I
You
see
did.
that.
Feels
YouTube
good.
exclusive content.
It feels real good.
Mm-hmm.
Feels real good. So.
Looks real.
You
Do
feel
I
like you
do I
can
sound lighter out there, listener?
You sound cleaner.
More,
Okay.
more aerodynamic,
Good.
at least
Yeah,
to me,
for sure.
if
Yeah.
I close my eyes. Yeah. I think I got a haircut.
Yeah.
I think you did as well. I also did, but I didn't grow my hair out nearly as long as you guys.
And you have
So
a hat
it's-
on.
And I have a
so-
hat on. YouTube exclusive content.
YouTube. You guys wouldn't know if you're just listening. So I've
Talking
been good.
down so hard. You guys wouldn't know if you're just listening, twirling his whiskey glass.
So I've been good. I've been real good. I turned 30 and I'm
Yes.
really old, and
And
I
you turned-
immediately got admitted to the hospital.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Pate had a birthday. And
You guys both had birthdays on the break.
yeah.
We're older now.
Yes,
Mhm.
we are. The podcast will show that we're older.
And
If for
wiser.
nothing else, this podcast will be a great time capsule.
It will.
You know, we'll be 50. You know, and
Look
we'll
back and be like,
"Man,
woof."
Remember when we were?
Remember
28
when
and
we
30?
did that podcast?
Like, man, would these guys shut up about
We've
movies
done
already?
20 years of podcasts between now and then.
Yep.
I fully expect us to do this forever.
I'm planning on it.
If we're going into 3, we might as well go into
And we'll
30.
hand it off to our children,
Perfect.
and they will continue the
Exactly.
They'll
podcast.
be like, what's a podcast?
We could just send
You
stuff to
download it into
people's
your brain.
brains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it is now 2022, but before we move on fully to 2022,
We are back.
we are back. And we're going to talk about 2021. We called this the visual media recap. We're going to be talking about stuff that we saw last year that we didn't talk about on the podcast at all, but things that were maybe interesting or caught our attention. These might not be amazing. These might be something that we really loved.
Yeah.
But we just kind of wanted to go through these and,
A time capsule
yeah,
of 2021.
yeah. And a
If you will.
summary and a review.
Right.
That's the sound that will cue you when we are talking about a new film. All right. So
And then you'll be out like on a random Friday and someone will do that. And I'll be like,
New film?
what's the new topic? Switching topics.
we are going
It'll
to
be more Pavlovian. It'll be like, I really don't want to talk about this
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. You guys want to talk about something else? I was literally telling you about how my dog died, but sure.
Let's start off talking about a movie that literally I think everybody on the planet has seen now, given the box office numbers. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
And
All right.
next.
We all saw Spider-Man together. This is the third Tom Holland MCU.
Yes.
Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
I have not been a fan of the previous two.
I haven't seen them.
There you go.
So.
Jake?
I thought they were okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But how did we feel about this one?
I have never had more fun at a Marvel movie in my life. That's the best. I mean,
I
we'll
think that
talk
might,
about
yeah.
it as a movie. It was terrible.
Mhm.
As a movie, I'd never buy it. I would never.
Right.
But as an experience, it was hilarious. I
Yeah.
mean, we were laughing at almost every line. There's a couple stinkers.
And it's
obviously.
supposed to be. If you haven't,
It's
for some
supposed to
reason,
be a
if you haven't
comedy.
seen it,
It's not like funny bad.
yeah, yeah.
No. It was, for real funny.
The phrase
If you love the early Spider-Mans, especially with Toby
Mm-hmm.
and the Garfield Spider-Mans.
spoiler alert for everything we're going to talk about, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll put
Who
a,
doesn't know at this point?
No, I
no,
just
there's
mean
no way.
for everything else, especially too.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
yeah.
I just mean.
we'll put a spoiler alert. Obviously, we're not going to spoil it for each other if one of us hasn't seen the movie.
yeah.
But if we've all seen it, we're going to just talk about it openly.
Yeah.
We'll put the list in the description, so if you want to avoid spoilers, you can. And listen for the to skip to the,
Exactly.
to the next thing. Yeah, I agree with you. I
It's
think
hilarious.
the word I keep using, the phrase I keep using is it's a terrible superhero movie, but a really good comedy. Like, it doesn't make any sense in terms of logic. There's so many plot holes in it, but it's
There's
just
no weight to the story.
No.
I mean, it's something
they
that,
try and force some
something
in,
that he causes and then fixes at the end after 3 hours.
but also fixes it by making it even worse for himself. Like,
Yeah.
I always thought that was the deal anyway. Wasn't that the original spell? Is like people wouldn't remember him?
it's that
Correct.
people would forget that he is Spider-Man
Oh, not completely. Existed.
because the world openly knows he is.
So they'll be like Spider-Man, Tom Holland, whatever, Peter Parker, but they didn't know that they're the same.
Uh-huh.
They wouldn't.
So it was to make people forget his secret identity thing, but then at the end anyways, the big thing is Toby and Andrew are back. And it's really, really funny.
Yeah.
We've constantly joked about just going in about an hour in, which you actually did.
Yeah, this was like last week, I think. The movie was at 6 and I strolled in at like 7:30.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Regal Unlimited perk too,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
so
You're not paying.
They were like, the movie was at 6, right? I was like, yeah.
joke's
I'm
on
aware.
you. The movie hasn't even started yet.
But
yeah, I think I would say that, yeah, that's the best. That's a great way to explain probably how we all three felt about it. Is I have never had more fun in a Marvel movie. I think it certainly isn't the best Marvel movie, but as an experience, it was, yeah, I mean, and the thing, I think I've seen it 3 times, and again, that's no, for anything that on here, I've seen it multiple times. If it's a movie especially, that's no
Small thing.
no, it is. It's no, like,
It's not an indication that it's
indication
great.
of whether it's great or terrible. Just Regal Unlimited. I'm going with someone who hasn't seen it. Oh, I'm going with someone who hasn't seen it. Might as well, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen it 3 times, and every time the only thing that I keep coming back to is the best parts get better and the worst parts get worse.
Yeah.
The jokes that, I mean, there's only 2. You're right. I can only think of 2 jokes that don't land. They're worse on second watch, third watch. The boring parts that you don't really care about, and as someone who not a huge Tom Holland fan as Spider-Man, that part's boring. I mean, it is. And when they bring in everything else, I mean, man, that movie starts to roll. It is so fun. It's so fun.
You just got to not think about it very much, and it's delightful.
Yeah, because, I mean, really, at the base of it, it's like, I mean, he was talking to Christian about it, who's a relatively big MCU fan. He's like, the world knows I'm Peter Parker. Please, can you get me into college? It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the stakes are terrible.
and then there's, I mean, Doctor Strange wouldn't risk everything like that because 3 people want to go to college. I mean, that's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
yes, it's,
The premise sucks.
but I think, yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's just, dude, every time when they're like, they jump off the rafters now that they know, let's work as a team, you know? They jump off the rafters and like, wah-ha-ha-ha, flinging around. I mean, every time, the 3rd time seeing it, I'm like, freaking God!
It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's like, dude.
Spider-Man 3!
Dude, so funny. And like, anyway, so yeah, it's the best parts are amazing, and there is definitely some snoozer parts.
I saw a
for
quote from Andrew Garfield where all these people now are talking about making Amazing Spider-Man 3, and he goes, Where
were
all
you?
of you
Yeah.
in 2014?
I said,
He
I was there.
He was so good in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, his movies, I don't think are very good.
Right.
He was always really good in them. So, yeah, really fun, really funny. Next, let's quickly talk about Come On, Come On. We saw this together at Bookhouse. It's the newest film by Mike Mills, starring Joaquin Phoenix and a small child. I don't remember the kid's name, but
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
He just went right into it. He had plenty of time to change course, but he was like, I'm going for it.
Anyway,
I thought this was a really good movie. I thought it was simple but really well acted, and it had some really funny parts, and it felt very natural, which is, I think, something that Mike Mills does very well. Which we'll probably get into more on another episode where we're talking about another Mike Mills movie. But yeah, what'd you guys think of it?
Beautiful. Yeah, I thought the score was amazing. I thought the look of it was amazing in black and white. I think the main kid was really good. I mean, he was being a kid, but he was being emotionally mature kind of thing. He's pulling that off pretty well. I thought it was, and I think I said this after we watched it. It's a really good movie on dealing with emotions. I think that's or depression, if you will. I think it's a pretty hot topic right now that a lot of people don't treat very well and depict very well. Yeah, I think they just try to make a buck on it for the most part. But I think this was a really insightful, something that if somebody, is struggling with that kind of thing, this would actually kind of help them, I think.
Yeah.
If, it actually has a chance to do something like that. But also, it's just a great story.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of Joaquin's most normal performances I've seen in a long time. He's just playing like a guy,
Yeah.
The only criticism I really had of the movie was I thought that his job was weird. It feels like a job that doesn't actually exist in real life.
We don't get a ton of information, so
yeah,
that
you
might
get-
be the problem.
You
but
get the
It's a
feeling,
podcast of some kind, right?
yeah,
or he like works
definitely not
for
a job.
works for NPR or something, like a radio show, and he's going around interviewing kids. So it's vague as to what he does, and it feels like this is a job that someone has.
Yeah.
And for how grounded the rest of the movie is, that feels a little like odd to me. But it might just be Mike Mills being like basing it on something in his life, and he's
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna make it about a filmmaker. What can I
Yeah.
do to make it different? But
Yeah.
Jake, did you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought, always love going to the Joaquin house. That's what we call Book House now. It seems to be the only movies we see there. He did really good. I think the kids, Stevie Ray's dialogue was written so well as a kid.
Yeah.
And whether it was written or not, we kind of chatted about. There's no way that was like all 100% written. Like
Yeah, there's
some of it
definitely some
seemed-
improvised in there.
So he's believable as a small child, and
Because he is one.
the wisdom that comes along with that, which is abnormal.
Yeah.
At least in his performance. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Next up, Paul Thomas Anderson's film.
What happens if we run out of ice?
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, it's gonna get weaker and weaker and higher pitched.
Paul Thomas Anderson's film Licorice Pizza. It's a comedy set in the 1970s, starring Cooper Hoffman, which is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, and Alana Haim from the band Haim, as well as Bradley Cooper and Sean Penn in smaller roles.
Yeah, we all went and saw it for Pate's birthday. It was a lot of fun.
Peyton and I saw this in Springfield, and Paul Thomas Anderson is my favorite filmmaker for sure. So I was pretty excited for it, and I was not let down by it. I thought it was really good and one of the funniest movies I've seen in quite a while. I laughed a lot.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, of the movies on the list, it's at the top 2 or 3 probably of enjoyment this year or this past year of watching something in a theater. It took me a long time to get my food, but
We were at Alamo Drafthouse.
but it was.
They did not sponsor this episode.
No, they didn't. Looking at you, Quentin.
He owns it somehow.
No, I thought it was really funny. Like you said, I think I didn't know what to expect going in. I mean, it looks pretty normal. Like the trailer makes it look average. But I would say he really cranked up. He's always had comedy in his movies, but he really cranked this one up.
I think this is his first true comedy, like pure comedy.
Yeah.
I was very surprised to hear both of you say that. I guess
Mm-hmm.
if that sheds any light on.
I don't
how,
think the trailer makes it look like a straight up comedy.
Yeah.
Which there's dramatic elements in it and stuff, but it's a coming of age comedy, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. I might be biased because I just love his style of filmmaking, but I really enjoyed it a lot. And it feels like
I don't think you can be biased enjoying something. You can, but it's not a problem. I think if
that's true.
different episode, obviously.
Yeah.
But.
Also, can we talk about this for a minute? Because this movie and Spider-Man, we all have been noticing something in the theater, I feel like.
Yeah, I thought about this too, but go ahead.
Why is no one laughing at
Yeah, it's very strange.
comedic moments that are actually funny?
We were saying it in the theater during Spider-Man. We were like, why is nobody laughing?
Yeah.
This is so
Felt
funny.
like the only ones laughing at the jokes.
Same
Yeah.
at Licorice Pizza.
And at Licorice Pizza was the same thing.
Steph
know.
said the girl next to her laughed at one joke the entire movie.
I mean, we were cracking up the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if people are going in with a different expectation of things or no expectations, I guess, of any. But I guess we didn't either. I didn't have any expectations. But it's like, I don't know. Maybe
it's bizarre.
Maybe his sense of humor is not connecting with people anymore.
I don't know. It seemed really like...
I feel like the Spider-Man stuff is objectively funny, right? I mean, if you've seen
Yeah.
the movies at all.
I felt like Licorice Pizza was also pretty much objectively funny. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe it's post watching at home vacuum that people are used to watching in, and they don't. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think
weird.
of. I mean,
or maybe people are just like
They-
dead inside.
self-conscious. like they think it's funny, but they won't laugh out loud. Maybe when watching something.
At a poll.
I don't know. To me, it's an involuntary reflex.
Maybe if people are going to see Licorice Pizza and they know who Paul Thomas Anderson is, or they have some type of pretension about, oh, he makes art films or whatever, and they go in not expecting like a comedy with like penis jokes in it and just like, normal like comedy stuff that you would see in like a normal comedy, but done in his style, obviously.
I don't know why you pay $13 for a
it.
ticket somewhere if you don't know. I don't know if you don't want to watch the movie.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And maybe it's a Alamo Drafthouse thing. Maybe people go to Alamo and they're more like, I'm seriously watching a movie,
As if laughing means you're not.
I guess. I don't know. Anyways.
Anyway.
I mean, that's like
It's a
paying for
weird
a
thing.
concert standing in the back, right? I mean, it's like you went to enjoy it.
Right.
Are you acting like you're not?
Anyway,
make you better.
if anybody's experiencing this in a theater out there,
Drop a like, drop a subscribe.
Don't
Hit the
comment. Don't
Patreon.
talk about it. Just
Hit the Patreon.
we'll know through the data,
There's getting a lot of likes. That means people aren't laughing. What did we say? People aren't laughing in theaters anymore?
Why are people laughing?
Next up, another film that we all saw.
We're skipping it.
Another film that we all saw together, The Last Duel. Adam Driver, Matt Damon, Jodie Comer, I believe is her name. It
Ben Affleck.
was Ben Affleck as well. It was a movie that we all saw.
Yes, it was.
How did you guys feel about it?
I think it was really well made. I thought I would have loved French accents in the movie. I think that would have been really nice. Performances were good. I like the big thing of the movie is how it's structured. The three acts are from the three different perspectives, which I thought was refreshing. I hadn't seen something like that in a while. The
unreliable narrator type of thing,
Yeah. There's only one problem with the movie, and we know what it is. I'll let Wes say what it is, but I think overall though it was really well done. I mean, I think Adam Driver was actually pretty lackluster in terms of he's been much better in other things.
Yeah.
He didn't really he was just a dude. Like,
Yeah.
he was just a guy,
Right.
And maybe that's what he was going for, but I thought Ben Affleck was good. He wasn't in it that much, but he was pretty good. But yeah, I think it's one of the better ones that really Scott's made in a while.
Yeah.
I think he's made some stinkers.
He's been pretty lackluster as of late.
Yeah.
Jake, do you want to give your points before I do the big thing?
It's really well done. It was enthralling, what I would say. It's really heavy.
It is dark.
It's
for
really,
sure. Hard to
really
watch.
heavy.
I would never watch it again, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's yeah. But I think it was
Glad we watched it.
Yeah, I think it's severely underperformed for the quality of movie that I think I think more people should have seen it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think technically it was good. Performances were good. Writing generally was very good. Hard to watch, and definitely doesn't pull any punches at all in terms of what it shows. I didn't really say what it's about. It's about a true story that happened in France in like the 1300s, I believe, where a woman accused someone of raping her, and her husband challenged the accused man to a duel in order to decide whether or not the man was guilty. At that point in time, they believed that that God would determine the outcome of the duel,
right?
Essentially. But the first act is from Matt Damon's character's perspective, who is her husband. The second act is Adam Driver, who is the accused. And then the third act is Jodie Comer's point of view, who is the wife, the victim.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem I felt with it, which I think you guys generally agreed, maybe, I don't know, I know you kind of did, that each act starts with
title card.
A title card that said whose perspective it was, the truth according to blank, and then the person's name. When it got to her perspective at the end, it said the truth according to whatever her name was, and then it dropped away everything else and just left on the screen the truth. And I felt like that ruined the interesting perspective thing that the movie was doing.
Yeah.
Where
I mean, the first two acts of the movie
are clearly
are
unreliable.
now, yeah.
And now it essentially says that didn't happen at all. This is what happened. And her point of view is 100% the truth, which no person's point of view is 100% the truth.
Sure.
So you're doing an interesting perspective thing, and then you fumble on what perspective actually is.
Yeah. And this is more of a structural problem, I think, that we have, or an artistic problem rather than like
an ideological problem almost, I think. Like a philosophical one whenever you're creating something.
Yeah.
Especially in a story with heroes and villains and traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. You're not going to remember it or retell it with 100% accuracy.
Right.
It's just,
right.
And it's not a question of like not believing her or not in the truth.
Yeah.
In the story, something happens. It's not like that's the case.
Yeah.
But
It happens in all three.
yeah. But the problem is when the movie decides what is 100% the truth for the audience, then it takes any agency away from a viewer of like, I'm going to think about this. I wonder what aspects of what point of view were right was
Which would have been much more interesting.
Yeah, but the movie kind of takes away any reason to talk about it more because it decides on what happened.
Yeah.
Like flat
The
out.
only thing that you could talk about is that.
Right. Which is, I think,
done.
the wrong thing for the movie.
That's what they wanted.
I don't think it's what a movie maker would want.
Yeah.
To debate whether or not they did it right. But anyways, it was interesting for sure. This is a real quick one. It's the worst title of a movie I've ever seen. I did not see the movie. I was looking through the 2021 list, and it's the worst movie title I think I have ever seen. It's called Needle in a Time Stack, and it's terrible.
The title.
The title is terrible.
What's your
the movie's
on,
probably
like where you put that? You just like kind of.
I was just going through the list.
Okay.
Mix it up.
The French Dispatch is next.
Yep. The French Dispatch.
Is it French?
Wes Anderson film.
Mhm.
It is a Wes Anderson film, starring all the Wes Anderson people.
And some more.
Yep.
He
And
just keeps
some.
collecting.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you guys think of French Dispatch?
It might be my favorite Wes Anderson film.
I'm just kidding.
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I mean, I keep waiting for him to do something different. I think that's what I'm most excited to see is if he does something completely different than it just. I mean, you said this before though. It's like that's how he sees himself making movies.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's.
I don't think it's possible for him to do it.
Oh, I think he could. But I think
maybe.
This was really fresh to me. I thought it was hilarious. I thought genuinely funny, which his stuff can get. It's always been
Quirky
humor. I don't know. I was laughing a lot during this, and it was. There is also some artistic stuff that he did that he hasn't ever done before. You've got like
playing with the idea of the magazine
stuff for sure, and you've got scenes like the one with is it Benicio del Toro's character?
Mm-hmm.
What's the French actress's name?
Leah Seydoux, I believe is her name.
She's in the Bond film.
Yeah, she's in No Time to Die as well.
She's saying something to him, and the text is going on the screen. She's saying it in French, and I think it's in English subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I don't know. It was, it wasn't just subtitles at the bottom of the screen. There was some like
artistic
it was fading away, and it was in pink and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and it was color and black and white mixed. I mean, it was going back and forth, and so I thought there was a lot of really cool stuff in this one. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It has one of my favorite jokes. Well, I guess not jokes, but like a funny idea that I've seen in a Wes Anderson movie, where it's like the chessboard revolution and they're playing chess against the police.
Yeah.
The revolutionaries are.
Right.
They're like calling out it's so funny to me because I've just never seen something like that.
Yeah.
As a joke, but I enjoyed it a lot visually. It was got a lot going on. It switches between and he's done that. He like keeps ratcheting that up. I feel like
Mid shot, he's just asking for another camera.
yeah, Grand Budapest did a little bit of that, and now this has done even more, and it's jumping all over the place. But I thought it was good. I wouldn't really put it in my top run of Wes Anderson movies because I think it's lacking a little bit of depth. But
yeah, I would say the Darjeeling Limited is my favorite story, and I think this one's right up there.
yeah, but yeah, I thought it was good. Jake,
I agree.
I have no ice left, basically.
Matrix Resurrections.
Uh-huh.
What a weird movie.
I'm thinking I'm back.
Ugh.
John Wick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, 4 is going to be crazy.
I know.
Matrix Resurrections. It is the 4th Matrix movie. One of the Wachowskis came back to direct it, but just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
My general thoughts, which I've heard a lot, the first 30 to 40 minutes is really interesting and really weird and meta, and then it kind of becomes bland and less interesting.
Yeah.
And not a mess, but
Yeah.
just not amazing. Like,
I thought it was a mess of a movie,
okay.
for sure. I think,
The action sucked, which
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah. But in the day of sequels and reboots, I thought it was a breath of fresh air.
was
At least the first half.
Just trying something at the beginning, at
Yeah.
least.
Mm-hmm.
But then it seemed like they stopped trying.
Yeah, the main plot is not that great. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, nothing that you guys haven't said. Was like, what is happening for the first 45 minutes? And then once you know what's happening and you settle in, it's like,
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
this isn't interesting anymore.
I think
you know?
what could have made that movie interesting is if it was completely, I mean, you'd piss a lot of people off probably, but I think it'd be the only thing to make it interesting is if, a Matrix movie began and ended and you didn't know if it was real or not.
Mm. Yeah.
You never
Pretty cool.
entered the real world, or something left you up to question whether it was or not. It's
Yeah.
like that's always been their thing. I mean, always been. That's the first movie. That
Yeah.
it's not. That's the crux of the first movie is what is real and what's not. Whatever.
Yeah.
Why not really lean on that and say it seems like a natural progression
Yeah.
that they should make one that's like, was this real or not?
Which
Similar
it
to
seemed like it
Inception,
was
It's like
going in that direction at the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hyper meta. They're referencing the fact that Warner Brothers was going to make the movie without the Wachowskis,
yeah.
whether or not they came back or not. Like,
Yeah.
that is, I mean, even later in the movie, there's some stuff that does it still. Like, whenever Neil Patrick Harris is talking, he's like, it was super expensive bringing you guys back. Like, that stuff, it's in there, but they just didn't do enough with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a weird movie.
They definitely could have done worse.
Do you want to keep movies or
You want to keep doing movies and then come back to the
that's
TV
up
ones?
to you guys?
Yeah, let's
You're the director.
do it. All right. Don't Look Up. Jake, I believe you watched this.
Yes.
I still haven't watched it.
We watched it a few days ago. We're definitely late to the party. It did come out in 2021, right?
I don't remember.
I was pretty sure it came out in December.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Probably did. I don't know.
Yeah. So, new
It's hard to tell with all the Netflix.
Adam
streaming
McKay
movies.
movie.
Yeah.
It's hard for him to make a bad movie, not necessarily one that I enjoy. I thought Vice was okay.
Uh-huh.
Love The Big Short.
Mm-hmm.
But those are his. Spilled whiskey on it, but now no one will know. But those are his most recent ones
Yeah.
out of the whole.
Transition from doing comedies.
Yeah, just straight comedies. It was interesting. It's really long, 2 hours and 40 minutes or something.
Oh
and,
wow.
It was refreshing to see a political movie unabashedly call sort of everyone out on their BS, which was nice, especially, I mean, any mainstream pushed movie nowadays is definitely going to lean to the left, obviously. And this one, I mean, at times it obviously is making fun of everybody a little bit differently, but it was refreshing. The story is good, obviously. I mean, almost a space movie, so I'm in.
Anytime
space
apocalyptic.
adjacent.
Space and apocalyptic. So, but yeah, I thought the performances were good, and it definitely is a satirical political commentary on
What's going on?
everything almost. Yeah. I mean, there's like take shots at like the media and what the effect social media has on how we view things that actually matter, and and so it was interesting. I think.
Am I wrong in assuming it's just a global warming metaphor? Because that's what I thought it was from the trailer. That it was just
Climate change.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who are you, Al Gore? We don't call it that anymore. Boy,
Is it broader than that?
I mean, it'd be hard to say that it's not, obviously, because of what's happening in the movie.
Sure.
It's something that is coming from. It's like an external force that we know about, and we have some time to change. And people may or may not decide to, but I feel like a lot of the movie's core is about a lot more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be the plot, maybe what the plot was based on, but
That's
he said it's not.
That's how they got to Cap, obviously.
Yeah.
He said it's not, but
He said it's not just about that.
he's like, I wasn't thinking global warming when I wrote it. But,
Oh.
But I mean,
How much do you believe that?
right, I mean, yeah, sure. Get more people to watch your movie. Sure, yeah, I'll say that, but
Sure.
it was interesting. I liked it.
All right. Spencer. Oh, sorry.
Are you kidding?
Sorry.
We don't have to talk about this one. It doesn't matter to me. I just put it on the list.
How about Belfast then?
Let's talk about Spencer.
Okay.
Go for it.
You're the director.
I thought Spencer came out in November, December, I think.
Sure.
Kristen Stewart portrays Princess Di, and this is my real quick. I'll just say I think this is the way to make a biopic is do a slice of life. I think it's the only way to make a good one. I think Lincoln does it.
American Underdog.
I don't know. Does it? Okay, no.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to talk about
I
it.
almost put it on there.
What I mean by slice of life is it is a confined amount of time. So whether that be 1 week or 1 day, when it spans multiple years, it just isn't. It's not going to be as good of a movie.
Jackie is the same way.
Jackie's
same
slice of life,
filmmaker.
yeah. I think that's the way to make one, and it's really good. I think she did a great job. I don't know. I guess I don't understand why Princess Diana is so interesting to people.
I never have either. Yeah.
But it was a well-made film, and again, I think that's you're trying to capture what the person felt like more than like all their accomplishments.
Yeah.
I think, and that's the point of a dramatic movie anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Documentary, sure, span their whole life, but I thought it was well made.
It was interesting to me to see the trailer because I was a big fan of Jackie Kennedy by the same director. And seeing this trailer, I was like, is it the same movie but just about Princess Diana?
It's
and
very similar.
It's
The poster's almost the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
The trailer looks the same, like almost the same style of cinematography, but it's interesting. He's just doing a series of movies about famous women.
Kristen Stewart's pretty hard in the movie. I mean,
now describe to the audience what Kristen Stewarting means.
shifting eyes around a lot and then
This?
biting. Yeah, shifting the eyes, looking uncomfortable. I mean, no one looks more uncomfortable than Kristen Stewart. She does a great job.
At looking uncomfortable.
At looking uncomfortable. No, I thought she did great. But she was Kristen Stewart. So I have no eyes, so it's all on you guys.
Belfast, new film by Kenneth Branagh.
I saw it.
Me and Jake saw it.
I
You
have
didn't
not-
watch it?
I have not seen it yet.
All right.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I think it was an interesting story during a very, like, rarely covered part of history, I suppose. Not a time in history, but a part of, specifically what's happening. And so that was cool. And, I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan is in it as well. whatever his name is. He's really good, and capturing the childlike innocence in such a tumultuous time was cool.
Peyton?
Yeah, I thought it was one of the better movies of last year. I think I probably need to watch it again to get specific points, but I think it zooms in quite a bit more than some other movies would that are trying to tackle something like that.
Yeah.
Meaning it's specific to one family, really one guy. I mean, it's really follows the father mostly. Which I think in most of the time it'd be easy to just, if you're doing something like that, to make the film about the events that happen in a revolution or the events that happen in, some conflict, rather than it be about a person.
The people.
So I think that was the best part of it, and obviously it looked really good in black and white. Again, another black and white film.
Black and white is hot, as is 4x3.
Yeah.
4x3 black and white.
You're really cooking now.
But you can tell it was made by someone that really cared about it.
And it seemed like one of the more personal things Kenneth Branagh has made.
Yeah.
He's either doing really broad, stuff or Shakespeare, usually. Because he directed Thor. He directed...
Say it.
What is it?
Murder.
Something on a Train.
Boredom on the Orient Express.
Murder on the Orient Express. That's it. And it's just kind of a weird filmography.
Look at me!
But this seemed much more personal and probably his story.
Yep.
Okay. We are moving on to television shows that we watched.
Or series.
Or series.
Series.
We're going to start with, or we'll go through it pretty quick because literally everybody's talked about this already. But Get Back.
Bam.
The Beatles documentary.
Bam.
The Beatles documentary by Peter Jackson about the recording of
What's
the
it called?
album Let It Be. What?
Huh? Which one is this?
Get Back?
Bam.
We got together and watched a couple episodes of it.
2 of 3 parts.
Yeah. And I thought it was very good. I would imagine you would hate it if you don't like music or write music or play music or like the Beatles. I imagine it would be super boring. But I thought it was very good. I don't think I would ever watch it again, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I like how raw it is. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's the best part of it is just it's cameras rolling. There's no talking heads. There's no overdub. I mean, there's nothing. It's just raw footage of them recording.
Some
Which I
title
think is-
cards every so often.
Yeah. And I think, it could keep people's interest just based on how quirky some of the stuff going. I mean, you've got like weird people walking in and out of that.
Yeah,
Recording
that's true.
the different time and place. So I think,
3,000 Arabs.
I mean, you've got,
It's a
Torches
great,
lit.
it's a great bit.
so I think, I kind of agree with Alex. I think I wish they didn't do some of the restoration stuff. I think it would have looked better if it was more. I mean, I think you can do some, but I think it looked weird whenever they were doing.
In certain dark lighting, you could really
When they
tell
cranked it.
you could really tell they upped it a lot.
Yeah.
to the point where it was super noticeable. But
I do
it
like
didn't
that,
bother me very
I
much.
do like that Pete Jackson just said, "I'm gonna make it as long as I want it."
Yeah. I thought it was.
It didn't work out for The Hobbit, but it worked out for this.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was just matter of fact type of stuff, and it felt like at times it was written because it was so raw. I mean, it's like there's no way this is like the original time that he's figuring out Let It Be. There's no way. That's impossible. But it's like it is. But it just like
he just sat down and started
the way that it's
Get
shot,
Back.
the way that they edited it together. It's like, yeah. I mean, it was crazy at times to be like, we're witnessing like this. It's crazy. But
all right.
I have nothing left. It's all you
I
guys.
barely have any ice. Next up is a show that I have started. I haven't finished it entirely yet, but it was interesting enough that I wanted to mention it. It's a show called Landscapers on HBO. It's got David Thewlis in it, who most notably played Lupin in the Harry Potter movies. But it's a true story about a couple that was like on the run for killing the wife's parents in the trial. And the most interesting thing about it is it references the fact that you're watching a TV show. Like the opening of the first episode has the director of the Landscapers TV show call action, and you see everything start moving. So it's interesting. And that is all I want to say about Landscapers. It's an interesting one.
Whoa, okay.
No, next up, Foundation. This is another TV show I was watching on Apple TV. It's like a big space thing. Jake, I think you would enjoy it.
Oh, space.
It is a future sci-fi show about like a society in thousands and thousands of years from now that has colonized all of the planets in space. It's very interesting and well done, well acted.
It's on Apple TV.
Yeah, it's got some interesting stuff in it.
I don't have Apple TV. If a subscriber out there wants to sponsor our Apple TV subscription as a crew so we can watch Apple TV stuff, hit the Patreon, http://patreon.com/ this podcast is not for you too.
HTTP.
Yep.
Next up, we're going to skip one and do that one last. But next up, Squid Game.
Squid Game.
Everyone loved Squid Game.
Squid Game.
Or at least watched it.
Everyone at least watched it.
Did you?
Except me.
I also did not watch
I
it.
watched it.
How was it?
Suspenseful. It is
Korean.
It is Korean. It is a never read it, but Lord of the Flies battle royale type of thing where
Those are hot.
You get abducted and you gotta survive and blah blah blah. It kind of plays on societal greed and manipulation of people that you love, people that you don't love, blah blah blah. As a story, other than those broad strokes, as a story, terrible. There were so many times where I was like, but what about, did that not just, there's so many times where it's like not necessarily a plot hole, but it's very, very, okay, push past it and then don't think about it. It was just, it's.
The J.J. Abrams method of writing.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. Anyway, exceptionally overrated, if you ask me.
I was assuming so,
but
given how many people were talking about it.
It had a lot going for it that I would enjoy, in a closed environment with competition and high stakes, like Red Rising, right? It's like, I love, Ender's Game, love stuff like that. So, there were some cool elements to it, like the idea is interesting and stuff. But oh boy, I could not believe that it was as well received as it was. But anyway,
it's interesting that I feel like there's one of those every year. Tiger King was
Yeah.
before it.
Just for some reason, one show a year,
Yeah.
everybody loses their mind over.
And it's like
It was
fun.
Stranger Things the first time that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Squid
Surely there's
Game.
other ones.
This.
Squid Game.
That's 3 years. I mean, then you think about. I don't know the other ones. I mean,
Well, Stranger Things was what 2015, 16.
oh, the first season. Yeah.
I mean, that was the height of it. The
That was
pandemonium.
was that the first big, like, huge Netflix original? Like,
I
that
think
blew
so.
up?
Yeah.
They didn't start producing their own content till around then either. So yeah.
It was one of the first ones that everybody loved.
Yeah, interesting that happens.
All right. I don't have. Next up, we got Station 11. Peyton, what's up with Station 11? Notice how I'm staying awake during the shows you guys are talking about.
Well, I'm just gonna say like one thing.
This is
I
the
also did.
Hire, right? This is
Gambino's guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gambino's guy.
He knew what I meant.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't remember.
Oh, that's why you weren't okay.
I can't-
I'm pretty sure it's Hero.
Yeah.
I think it starts with an A. Anyway, Gambino's guy.
Gambino's guy. It's weird. I think.
You were very intrigued whenever you started watching.
Yeah, I don't think the payoff is very good.
Mm.
I think that
It looks interesting for sure.
it could have been much better. I think it's based on a novel, but I
Did
think
he
it
write? Okay, never mind.
it-
I'll shut up.
departs quite a bit. I think though. So
Mute.
I don't know how much of the novel it actually takes from, but apparently it's pretty different. I would say I think it could have been much bigger, and like the big story could have been even bigger and cooler and more sci-fi. But I enjoyed myself watching it. I enjoyed watching it myself. Yeah, it was fine. I wouldn't really recommend it, probably. But I did watch all of it, so that tells you something.
I haven't watched it.
Finally, our last one, The Office Superfan Season 4. Oh, Jake died. Okay. Season 4 of The Office Superfan edits came out, and it is a good one. Had some really great stuff in it.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
great. I'm almost done, so I've just been working my way through it. I was telling Pate the other day when I was dealing with, some uncertainty in terms of like my health.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching it when I didn't feel like doing anything else, and whatever, in a weird headspace. And so I was like, I'm not loving this as much as I know that I should be because of where I was at,
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to stop watching for a week or so, which was a shame but I didn't want to do it a disservice. I knew
Sure.
how. So I haven't watched it all yet, but yes, what I've watched I think it's the best one thus far, which is exciting going forward.
Yeah.
Think about,
I was just saying, I can't remember who I said to. Might have been you, might have been Peyton, but
the Superfan episodes add everything, deleted scenes, stuff, blah, 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 stuff cut for time, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. So anyway.
how crazy it is that a show is being essentially re-released in its entirety with every episode being longer.
That's been off the air for 9
That's
or 10 years.
It's
yeah.
never happened before. And like no beloved show has ever done that. Like there's cut stuff from every
yeah.
television show
For sure.
Here's
ever.
what's great. Will other shows start to do it?
If they still have that stuff documented, I assume that they have it archived and stuff.
Yeah, they would definitely still have
'Cause
everything.
what would be really interesting is like if it starts happening, other shows or whatever, and so The Office originally like spawned this like workplace comedy type of show,
and then it spawns
and then it
this.
spawns like so it's like even when it's not like
I think this is for a smaller audience. Like I think this is
you're
really,
probably right. No,
I think this is really is for super fans.
You guys are the only people I know that are watching it out of all my friends that are Office. So you're
Ryan
right.
Gleason is watching it.
Mhm.
Okay. Peyton's not. Holly's not. Luke's not. Chelsea's not even that interested. Dan's not watching it. You know, so I mean, like people that are huge. So you're
Riot is a
probably
super
right.
fan. So.
Why are they not into it? Are they don't have Peacock? Did they not care? I'm
I don't
genuinely
know.
curious.
Here's
don't
where
know.
I think a lot of it comes from. We can pick up the differences instantly between the original cut and the superfan. I think that might have something to do. If you've seen The Office only like once or twice, I think this has less value.
But you're describing people that have watched it a bunch of times.
Honestly, Peyton didn't get into it when we did. He thought it was stupid. So Peyton's only been into it for like 3 or 4 years. So he might not fall in that camp. But I mean, he quotes it all the time now. So he is a mega fan, but for some reason it could be because they don't have Peacock. But maybe
So
the super fans sign up for Peacock to get it though. I mean, that's the thing.
The reason I say that is it may feel like less new content if you don't remember the old content perfectly.
Yeah. But it's 10 minutes per episode.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's really good, and I've really enjoyed it. I feel like
I really hope I can get this somehow on a physical form.
Yeah, I feel like
that would be cool.
If I want to watch The Office now, part of me
I hope
goes,
they don't take them down, too.
Why would I watch the original?
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's just more, and a lot of it's really good, and it's just expanding upon the stuff. It's like the Lord of the Rings extended versions. Like I've watched the theatricals a couple times, but the majority of the stuff I've watched when I want to watch Lord of the Rings, I watch the extended stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just what was originally put together, you know? So,
into mega fans, it explains certain scenes that we saw and with not full context, or
there's
that makes
in
crazy
different orders.
editing stuff
like,
going on. Yeah.
I think that they.
When you see the finale,
I think
crazy.
sometimes they edited people's dialogue out. Because there's one scene, I can't remember which one it was, but I was watching and Dwight got surprised by someone. You know, it's like your favorite thing. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like he goes, Jesus. And he didn't do that in the original cut. And so I even feel like there's like weird stuff like that where this is, you know, and maybe NBC was like, you can't say that on TV.
Yeah.
And so they cut, you know, it's weird.
There is some stuff that was definitely cut for content. Like, in season 2, there's like some nudity and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting one, and it's gonna be very cool to see. It's gonna be very cool to see if they do like the entire show like this. You know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like
you
that
have
path
to.
is pretty clear that they're going to.
Yeah.
Could be entitlement speaking. I hope so. It feels like it's clear, but
Yeah.
I got nervous there for a little while that they had abandoned it.
People need to keep watching it, I guess.
they didn't do
probably.
one for a while.
Yeah.
They never tell anybody.
Nope,
I mean,
boom,
Here
no
it is.
marketing.
yeah.
Anyways, well,
We're back.
We are back. That was our season 3 premiere. Buy our shirts by Monday.
Buy our shirts by Monday or we're out.
Yeah, 1 week.
My name is Wes.
My name is Back.
And my name is
Weird. Yes.